The only way to stop yourself feeling fear around something is to... Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be filming my very first video for the new year. And this video is going to be all about how I'm going to live my best life in the new year. Basically, I wanted to film this because I have been through so many life transformations over the past couple of months, and really I'm just at that point where I'm like, 2021 is my year. And I've really sat down and thought about strategically, what is it that I can do to make this year incredible? I don't want to just say 2021 is going to be amazing. I actually want to do stuff about it to make it the most amazing year ever. And so I thought I would film a video and share with you all of the different individual things that I'm planning to do to make this year epic. Now, we're going to jump into this video. I'm going to leave the timestamp on the screen if you want to jump straight into the information, but I did just have to address the fact that I haven't created a video here on my YouTube channel for about a month or so, which is the longest break that I have ever had. I have, as I just said, had some major life changes that have happened, which I'm not quite ready to share here on this channel or on my Instagram, but I promise you I will be doing so soon. I just want to say that I really appreciate everyone who did reach out to me and ask me if I was okay or what was going on, or even just letting me know that you missed the videos here on this channel. I so appreciate this community, and I've been trying to stay as up to date as possible on my Instagram. Slightly obsessed with Reels. If you haven't checked them out, definitely follow me on Instagram. But either way, I am back and I really want to take this channel in, not necessarily a new direction, but with everything that's happened with me, I really want to dive in and focus on the confidence and empowerment side of things. Now, I was already creating YouTube videos here all about mindset and personal development for female entrepreneurs, but I really want to go deeper this year. I really want to help you get out of your own way, to stop doubting yourself, to build the confidence that you need to actually achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve in your life. I have realized more than anything why women don't go after what they want is because a lack of self-belief and self-worth. And I want to do everything I possibly can this year to really help you get out of that mindset and out of that thinking that you don't deserve what it is that you desire, so that I can hopefully be an inspiration to you to start living the life that you truly want. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. That's my little update. Like I said, I will be definitely giving you a more in-depth update soon. And again, just appreciate you understanding why I took such a long break. But anyway, let's jump into the video because I'm so excited about this one. So as I mentioned, this video is going to be all about what I'm actually going to do to live my best life in 2021. I want to share with you so maybe you can take some things away. Let me know in the comments below, what are you planning to do to make sure that you have an epic year in 2021? And of course, if you did enjoy this video, I would very much appreciate it if you gave it a big thumbs up. And of course, if you are new around here, hi, my name is Erin. I'm so excited to see you. If you just stayed through my little update, I love you, welcome. Let's jump into today's video. So the first thing that I'm going to be doing to have an epic 2021 is that I am going to work on stopping feeling guilty. One thing I have realized is that women specifically generally have a problem with guilt. Not all women, and not just women, but a lot of women have a problem with feeling guilty. This leads to people-pleasing style actions, which really can cause a lot of women not to go after what they want in life because they're so busy either feeling guilty for what they want or trying to please everybody else. Now, we don't have time today to go into where this has come from and why we generally as women are like this, but what I do know is that it's an extremely common trait and one that I suffer from extremely myself. I often feel guilty when people try to help me with things. I even once apologized to my cleaning lady for asking her to clean something. I honestly have such a problem with guilt, and that is something I really want to work on this year. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to go out and be the most egotistic, up yourself person and just not care about what anybody else thinks or not try to help anybody else. I still think that you should focus on trying to be the best and most decent human being that you can be, the most considerate human being you can be, whilst also realizing that you do not have to feel guilty for going after your goals and dreams. You do not have to feel guilty for loving your life. You definitely don't need to feel guilty for loving yourself. I've just realized that so many women, like I said, just don't go after what they want in life because they feel like they don't deserve it, or they're afraid of feeling guilty if they actually get that. And I'm no stranger to this. I have so many times felt guilty for the success that I have built here on YouTube and with my business. I feel guilty for how much money I make. I feel guilty for so many different things, and I really want to work on that this year. The thing that I'm really going to do to be working on my guilt is just reminding myself each and every single day how worthy I actually am. You know, worth has nothing to do with our outward achievements or necessarily anything that is tangible. We are just worthy because we are here. And when we remind ourselves of that each and every single day, it can mitigate some of that guilt that we are feeling. So if you're someone who generally feels a lot of guilt for any of those reasons that I mentioned, that will hold you back from having an epic 2021 and is definitely something that you need to work on. Let me know if you want me to go more specifically into detail about guilt, or if that's something that you struggle with, because I would so be happy to make a video specifically on that one. The next thing that I'm going to be doing to have an epic 2021 is that I'm really going to be challenging myself to show up in the areas I feel least confident. Now, this is a weird one, right? What I mean by that is I'm challenging myself to really show up and just pursue the things that I want to do, but maybe I'm a little afraid of. For me in particular, that's things like some areas of my business, like doing events. I still have some fears around that, but also things like riding my motorbike on the road and going into a Muay Thai fight. These are things that I would love to do. There's this part of my heart that desires to do these things, but of course my fear mind comes in and tells me it's not safe, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough. And so what I'm really going to do is I'm going to try as much as possible by taking itty bitty baby steps towards doing those things where I'm feeling the most fear. Where I actually got this from was a talk from Will Smith where he talks about he hates the feeling of fear. He hates being afraid to do something. And that really resonated with me. I hate that fear holds myself and so many other people back. But the reality is there's no cure to overcoming fear than going through it. A lot of people think that they can sit around and read all of the personal development books and listen to all of the personal development videos like the one you're listening to now, and somehow that's going to flick a switch inside of you to the point where you just feel like, right, I have no fear now, let me go do that thing. It doesn't work like that. The only way to stop yourself feeling fear around something is to prove to yourself that it's not as bad as you think. Whether that's starting a business, going live, starting a YouTube channel, no amount of personal development work is going to get you to the point where you realize that there was no need for that fear in the first place. The only thing is to do the thing. And so that's what I'm going to do. Even though I feel the fear, I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to put myself in situations where maybe I'll just fight in like an interclub or ride my bike on the road with the safety of maybe my dad riding with me. So I'm not just gonna dive straight in, I'll definitely take baby steps there, but I'm definitely going to follow my fear so that I can prove to myself that I can do anything. The third thing that I in particular am going to be doing this year is working on my focus. Now, I consider myself to be someone who is productive and organized, and I have great output, I do a lot of things, but I have a tendency to get distracted. And what I realized is that when you are trying to achieve any particular goal in life, having focus allows you to reduce so much of the unnecessary time wasted around the pursuit of that goal. Whether you get shiny object syndrome and that's a form of self-sabotage pulling you away from that goal, or whether it is just that you are generally interested in multiple different things. I'm someone who's multi-passionate and I'm generally interested in multiple different things. However, I know that with the goals that I'm trying to achieve, so some financial goals within my business and those goals that I just shared with you a moment ago, I know that if I'm actually going to get there, I really need to focus my time and energy into those things. So what this is going to involve is just making sure I've actually blocked out time each and every single day to work on my goals in my calendar. And the most important thing is that as much as possible, when I'm working on these goals, so either fighting or writing or making money, I am really just in there and focused on that one individual task. So I'm getting into flow. They say that flow is one of the most productive states that you can actually be in. You can get a week's worth of work done in a few hours if you are in that flow focused state. You know, you're not checking your Instagram, you're not thinking about all of the other things that you need to do, you're not stressed out about tomorrow's tasks. So for me in particular, to get the most out of the work I do on my goals, what I really want to do is train my focus and try to get into flow as much as possible, because those hours spent working on those things will be much more efficient than if my mind was elsewhere. I definitely recommend reading the book Flow by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi if you want to learn a little bit more about flow. But for me, one thing I really want to do this year to make it amazing and to just feel so proud of myself by the end of the year is to make sure that I'm just working on being ultra focused in the moment. The fourth thing that I'm going to be doing to make this year amazing is I'm going to waste my time on the things I've always wanted to do. Now, what I mean by that is, let's just be real. Let's just get real with one another. We waste time. We all waste time, whether we're watching TikToks or Reels or Netflix. I mean, anything digital that we're doing other than our work is generally considered to be a waste of time. Now, I say waste of time loosely because I absolutely believe in chilling and relaxing. It is my thing. However, I spend a lot of time doing these things, as I'm sure you do as well. Then I have this big laundry list of things that I also want to do, like learn Italian and get better at playing my ukulele and shuffling, dancing around my house. And so what I really am going to be conscious of doing this year is trying to take those moments where I'm unnecessarily scrolling and replacing them with one of those things that I've always wanted to do. Here's the thing. If you find yourself always procrastinating on that task, I mean, generally they should be just as exciting as one another. I mean, watching TikTok and playing the ukulele to me are just as exciting as one another. If you find yourself always saying, I want to do this thing, but when it comes down to actually being conscious of picking up the phone or picking up the instrument, you would much rather pick up the phone, then maybe it's time to admit to yourself that you don't really actually want to do that thing. Maybe you like the idea of it. But really what I'm trying to say is productive time wasting. I don't want to be a professional ukulele player or a shuffler, or I generally don't even think I'm probably going to get fluent in Italian. But what I'm trying to say is these things are adding to my life rather than taking away from it, like social media generally does most of the time. And so what I'm going to do is just try to waste my time more productively than just scrolling. So what I would recommend for you, if this interests you, is just make a list of all those things that you'd love to learn or you'd love to try out as a hobby, something that you can just do sitting at home. And maybe next time you find yourself scrolling, even unconsciously, you've got to try to remember it, then you can go to that list and look at it and say, what can I do instead? I just think so many of us get in these negative downward spirals with social media, and it's not the most positive place to be these days. And I'm not saying don't do it at all, because that's just unrealistic. But what I am trying to say is if you can reduce that time a little bit, it's like when people are trying to break a habit and they're trying to, stop eating chocolate and replace it with like some dried fruit or something. It literally is just trying to move that habit towards something that is a little bit more positive. The fifth thing that I'm going to be doing to make 2021 amazing is that I'm going to stand up for myself more often. Now, what I mean by this is I'm not going to turn around and start beating up on every single person that says anything nasty to me or, being an asshole for no reason. But what I really want to do is I want to work on setting better boundaries and actually making sure that I'm spending my time doing things that I generally really want to do, not just because, again, I feel guilty or I feel bad, or I feel like I should do it to please somebody else. I think, again, a lot of women generally have a problem with helping everybody else before they help themselves, or doing things they generally don't want to do just because of the way that it looks. And that really comes in the form of not having boundaries and not knowing how to say no. Like I said, I am no expert in this field, but this is definitely something I'm going to work a lot more on. I still want to be a generous, kind, caring friend, and absolutely I would do anything for the people in my life that I care about. However, when that's taking over the time that I should be working on myself, for myself, on my dreams, that's when it is encroaching on the boundaries that should be there. And so I really want you to think about, how often are you putting other people before yourself? How often are you putting other people's goals and dreams before your own goals and dreams? You need to start standing up for yourself. You need to start learning how to say no. People, the right people I should say, aren't going to completely abandon you just because you don't do one thing for them. And the people in your life generally should care about you living your best life as well. And so they're not going to take advantage of that. And this could be a really good filtration system for you to look at the people in your life. So I mean, this all comes back to what we spoke about in the beginning, learning how to love yourself and get more confident and stop feeling guilty. So again, if you'd like a video more focused on guilt and confidence, I can absolutely create that for you. But definitely learning how to stand up for yourself, say no, and identify when people are using and abusing you is something that will really help you have a much more exciting and self-pleasurable year. And the final thing that I'm really going to be doing this year is actually putting the work in to work on my personal negative patterns. Now, I generally have been doing this for the past 4 or 5 years. I mean, that is the general basis behind personal development work. But even still, I know, and maybe you know this as well, is that I operate solely on the surface. I know that I have healed some of my money stories, some of my confidence issues, some of my limiting beliefs around self-worth and self-belief, but I know that I could absolutely go deeper. There is always another level to personal development and to healing the traumas and the stories that we tell ourselves or that have been embedded in us since childhood. And so I guess the whole focus for this video is to start really, drawing the attention inwards and start working on and working for yourself. But a lot of the things that you're holding back are probably deeper than you're currently working on. And so for me, I know that I just want to spend my time really becoming the very best version of myself. I want to do whatever I can, both physically, mentally, spiritually. I want to really just dive deep and to spend each and every single day in the pursuit of, like I said, becoming the very best version of me. So putting in the work, even though I know it's going to be difficult, even though there's going to be some fears that I absolutely don't want to face, but going really deep with my personal development work. And I'm excited to share that with you because I am on this whole entire new journey, as I kind of alluded to this whole entire video. This channel's got a new focus. I'm so excited. And like I mentioned, I'm extremely grateful for this community. But I've been doing this quite a long time now. I have been working with women for years, and I just see so many women holding themselves back, putting other people first, not going after what they truly want, not having the time or the patience or putting in the effort to work on themselves, to move past their fears and move past their limitations so that they can actually start taking action towards their dreams. And I've just had enough of it. I've had enough of seeing so many women not living up to their potential. And that is really what I want to be focusing on in 2021. So that's my list. That's my big list of all the things that I'm going to be doing to be a little bit more self-lovey. Let's do this focused in 2021. Like I said, share with me in the comments below what you're going to be doing or which of these resonate with you the most, as well as if you'd like to see a video specifically focused on guilt. Is that something that you struggle with? I don't know. Let's talk about it. But I appreciate you so much. Thank you for sticking to the end of this extremely long video. I love you, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.